Oh, you asked about what life was like. So I would meditate. You asked about what prison was like, life was like for me. So I would meditate every day. So in the winter, for 10 months out of the 12 months I was there, I did not have any shoes, which is against prison policy. You're supposed to have shoes, and you're supposed to wear them. So the policy is if you do not shave your face, that you do not get out of your cell, which means you don't get to go to recreational time, which means sitting out in the sun with the basketball court and the chance to talk to other people, which didn't bother me. I wasn't there to make friends. I was there to protest injustice in our society, and I believed it was going to cost my life to do so. Anyway.
So how come you got out after 2 years instead of sitting the full 10?
Because I was willing to do this, because they had one of them ask me how long I think I could last in there, and I told them I could do 30 years. And this is based off of people who do meditations. They show that it takes about 30 years to start emitting significant amounts of theta waves, or to become enlightened or whatever. And I was meditating every day. They don't have 30 years to wait. They're not going to wait 30 years for me to sit in prison. And so the guy looks back at me, I look, almost dead at this point. He says, "You're not going to make it." And I say, "No, I'm not going to make it." And I do that laugh that I do when I know that I'm probably going to die in this situation. And he looks at me and he's thinking, "This motherfucker's crazy." But this is my situation at this point. When you're locked in a cell and you're not getting food and you're having people beat you. Now I've only told you about the prisoners beating me at this point. We'll need a whole nother little chapter to tell you about the guards beating me. So I get 7 uses of force in the 12 months. That's about 1 every 2 months or so. A use of force consists of 6 guards dressed up in riot gear, knee pads, chest pads, Kevlar vests, gas masks, and they spray you down with pepper spray, the entire cell. And then they come in, the first one with the riot shield, and they send the biggest one to do that, and they hit you with this riot shield. So I'm having trouble walking and lifting my head at this point, and they're hitting me with their shield. At one point, it gave me whiplash or something. I couldn't move my neck. I couldn't get up. Anyway, so in one of the episodes, they'd broken this hand, this one, and by pulling this finger back and taking a pair of handcuffs has these little triangular marks on it where it does the ratcheting, click, 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 click. Well, they take this on purpose and tear them down my hand. They're basically peeling the skin off of me. Well, four of them are holding me down. One of them's punching me in the top of the head, and the other one's breaking my hand and peeling the skin off of my hand. And then I received no medical attention for this. During the time that they're punching me in the top of the head, my consciousness came out of my body, and I was looking down at these men from behind them beating my body on the floor. I was looking down on my own body being beaten. And it didn't seem strange at the time. I was just thinking, oh, that's my body. And they take me out to the big room in the pod, and they throw me down on the stretcher in a very choreographed maneuver. There was no 1, 2, 3 throw. They had practice beforehand. And I'd gotten to the point to where I could hear them talking. I can't tell what they're saying, but I know when they're planning things for me, yes? And so when they threw me onto the stretcher, my consciousness came back into my body, and I continued to, not cursing at them, not saying profanity, but to tell them of their ethical shortcomings. Because they had broken, at that point, local, state, federal law, and the Geneva Convention. By Geneva Convention, you cannot starve a prisoner. Even if you're at war with this country and you're trying to kill these people, once you've taken them as prisoner, you cannot starve them. If you do so, that's a war crime. And this is happening right here in a well-funded Texas prison. On purpose. It wasn't oversight. And the warden knew about it. And I'm pretty sure somebody at the federal level who was calling the shots knew about it. Which makes the United States of America, I don't even know, Yes, we're war criminal. What else do you call it? What do you call it when you just torture people? I do not know. Anyway, I'm gonna grab another right after the break.